Hello queens, angels, and goddesses. Welcome back to my channel. Warning: this contains boy love, and if you don't like it then please get off my channel. Water pistol. Grinning face with cowboy hair. The QueenOfSeptember volleyball team has just arrived at the Nakoma High School sports gym. Today until the next week is a combined volleyball practice from several high schools in Tokyo plus a team of Nakoma's old friends, Karasuno from Miyagi. The guest came early in the morning, said the captain of Nakoma. Hey, QueenOfSeptember, you look even taller, said the captain of QueenOfSeptember greeting his friend from Nakoma. Because they had practiced together a lot since they were in first grade, they became close to each other. You too BoKuroo, replied the man who was called QueenOfSeptember to BoKuroo. Not as tall as you. Let's play, I can't wait, said BoKuroo as he opened his jacket and started warming up. QueenOfSeptember hearing BoKuroo's praise felt happy, but sad at the same time. BoKuroo is a really nice guy, especially to him. BoKuroo likes to praise the little things that he deems worthy of praise. It's not an exaggeration, he just gives appreciation. That's what makes BoKuroo a friendly and humble person. BoKuroo from the QueenOfSeptember Academy, who is famous for his strong volleyball team. Even BoKuroo is the captain and ace of his team. BoKuroo is also the top 5 ace high school in Japan. Meanwhile, QueenOfSeptember is just the captain of a fairly strong high school team from Tokyo. Nakoma is not very well known but his team skills are quite good. This is what made him feel insecure about liking someone like BoKuroo. QueenOfSeptember Tetsurao, the captain of Nakoma VBC, likes QueenOfSeptember VBC captain BoKuroo Kotaro. No one will realize his feelings for the captain of the opposing team. Even though almost every practice QueenOfSeptember plays with BoKuroo more often than the team itself. QueenOfSeptember, BoKuroo called and QueenOfSeptember turned around to find the crush walking towards him. It looks like the match between QueenOfSeptember and Karasuno is over. After the match, accompany me to spike practice again, asked BoKuroo. No, I'm tired, QueenOfSeptember replied. It's just a temptation. And the response from BoKuroo always makes him smile amused. BoKuroo, who changes his mood so easily, makes QueenOfSeptember like to tease him. Likewise, BoKuroo also often teases QueenOfSeptember. QueenOfSeptember always spends more time with BoKuroo. Yes, even though BoKuroo must be with Akashi, the setter of QueenOfSeptember. QueenOfSeptember sometimes felt insecure about her situation compared to Akashi. He thinks maybe BoKuroo likes Akashi, judging by the fact that BoKuroo always relies on Akashi, mentions Akashi's name every match, and even though Akashi is class 2 and BoKuroo is class 3, they are always together. He is jealous of Akashi, who has a body that is shorter than BoKuroo, has a calm personality, and most importantly Akashi has a beautiful face. Unlike him, body taller than BoKuroo, clumsy personality, and he wasn't pretty at all. But why is he so daring to like BoKuroo, who has someone near him like Akashi? Obviously he is far behind. He hates the stigma of society that the ideal partner must be the dominant one who must be higher than you. QueenOfSeptember silently cursed anyone who created such a stigma. Why can't QueenOfSeptember be the dominant one for BoKuroo? That is clearly impossible. So far no other man is more dominant than a BoKuroo Kotaro. Sure, BoKuroo sometimes looks childish, but in an aura of domination BoKuroo is extraordinary. And QueenOfSeptember will not be able to defeat BoKuroo's domination. Hey, QueenOfSeptember-kun, what are you spacing out about at night alone? QueenOfSeptember's voice came from BoKuroo. He saw his best friend walking alone towards him. Where is Akashi, who always sticks to him? Nothing, just wanted to get some fresh air, QueenOfSeptember replied. There was no way he could answer when he was upset about his insecurity. I don't think you're just looking for air, replied BoKuroo as he sat beside QueenOfSeptember. Even if he realized it or not, BoKuroo's shoulder was sticking to QueenOfSeptember's. QueenOfSeptember himself felt his heartbeat go wild. It's not like Akashi isn't with you, asked QueenOfSeptember. In his heart QueenOfSeptember chuckled why when the two of them even asked about Akashi. Even though it's time for him to talk without Akashi and his crush. Tetsurao, you are stupid, QueenOfSeptember thought. BoKuroo laughs and answers, Akashi and I are like a complete package, inseparable. Hearing that QueenOfSeptember smiled bitterly, seriously, you guys are close each other. Is that so? Maybe because we got along? BoKuroo answered. And from that sentence QueenOfSeptember concluded that his thinking was correct, that BoKuroo likes Akashi. After all, who can't resist Akashi's charms? He is beautiful, smart, calm and can understand BoKuroo. He's kind, smart, very patient with me. I'm quite aware that I'm troublesome, but he can endure or even be able to recognize me inside and out. As if he had written BoKuroo's dictionary in his head, said BoKuroo, ending with laughter. But no. QueenOfSeptember, who felt his heart being stabbed by an invisible knife. He doesn't have everything BoKuroo mentioned in Akashi. Then why don't you just go out with him? QueenOfSeptember gave up. He will not compete with the perfect Akashi in the eyes of BoKuroo. From the start he had lost. BoKuroo stroked his chin as if thinking, dating her. I will only be a burden for him. I've made it hard on the team too. Then change your attitude, you idiot, snorted QueenOfSeptember by hitting BoKuroo's shoulder, who seemed very hard and sturdy to show his emotions and disappointment to himself. I'm trying it, BoKuroo replied. BoKuroo, what's your type? QueenOfSeptember asked suddenly. He wanted to change the topic, but somehow he ended up making a new topic that would hurt him. I'm an acute masochist, thought QueenOfSeptember. I don't have the type, BoKuroo replied briefly. QueenOfSeptember had expected it, but was still surprised. BoKuroo isn't a person who thinks about personality and such. As long as that person doesn't mind BoKuroo's whereabouts, BoKuroo will still accept that person. In short, BoKuroo can suit anyone. Then what? Asked BoKuroo back. I mean, then how do you like someone? QueenOfSeptember replied. BoKuroo nodded in understanding at QueenOfSeptember's question. He looked forward, as did QueenOfSeptember, who was also staring in the same direction as BoKuroo. I will date the person I fall in love with, finally BoKuroo voiced. QueenOfSeptember didn't answer anything because BoKuroo didn't seem to have finished talking. His long friendship made him understand a little about BoKuroo. I don't determine what type I am because I don't want to limit my choices. I also don't want to after deciding on my type, and I can't get one that will only make me disappointed. So I keep it simple, whoever makes me fall in love, no matter what part I like it, I will fight for it. Have you? Falling in love? QueenOfSeptember asked. It was said that QueenOfSeptember is a masochist, already knowing that the question would only hurt him further, but he asked it instead. BoKuroo smiled briefly, and QueenOfSeptember was sure it was a real smile, not his hallucination. Yes, even now. QueenOfSeptember's lips suddenly tingled, shaking with anger, sadness and others. Tears wanted to come out, but he endured with all his strength so as not to be caught if he was disappointed. Not to BoKuroo, but to himself, who loves BoKuroo in silence. Then, how is the progress of your relationship? When heard carefully, QueenOfSeptember's voice choked a little. Luckily BoKuroo didn't notice. We are very close, we often hang out together, tell stories and practice volleyball together, BoKuroo replied. So he's a volleyball player too. How lucky he is, QueenOfSeptember thought. You're that close, why don't you confess to him? I wanted to, but he's too insensitive. Even though I often tease and bother him, but he even thinks I'm just kidding, BoKuroo replied. Just say it, rather than regretting it later, suggested QueenOfSeptember. I don't know how stupid or what, why could QueenOfSeptember say this? Tears unconsciously pooled in QueenOfSeptember's eyes and was ready to fall at any time. Should I? Okay, I'll confess now, said BoKuroo as he got up from his seat. QueenOfSeptember buried her face between her knees as her tears suddenly fell. He didn't want BoKuroo to see him cry. Moreover, the reason for crying was that man. Full stop. QueenOfSeptember has been silent for a few minutes with his face buried between his knees. He thinks BoKuroo has gone to confess the person he likes. QueenOfSeptember intended to return to his room, but when he looked up, BoKuroo's smiling face was right in front of him. Have you finished crying? QueenOfSeptember was surprised and fell backwards. Meanwhile, BoKuroo, who apparently hadn't left, only grinned in front of him in a half-crouched position. How are you still here? Didn't you say you wanted confess to that person? QueenOfSeptember stammered. Has BoKuroo been here since he started crying? How did he explain it to BoKuroo? Indeed, answered BoKuroo. Then what are you doing here? QueenOfSeptember asked weakly. His voice was still hoarse from crying. BoKuroo chuckled. Even so far you are still insensitive. BoKuroo took QueenOfSeptember's hand and pulled him to his feet. At first QueenOfSeptember refused because his face was messed with tears, but BoKuroo was stronger than him, so QueenOfSeptember was the one who was drawn upwards. QueenOfSeptember nearly bumped into BoKuroo if he didn't quickly balance himself. BoKuroo looked at QueenOfSeptember, who instead looked down, still hiding his face. "You're so cute like this." A flushed face messed with tears. QueenOfSeptember didn't answer and BoKuroo shouted back, "QueenOfSeptember Techsurao. You're the person I like." QueenOfSeptember was worried that what he heard was just a beautiful delusion. There was no way that BoKuroo would say that sentence. He shook his head to throw the thought away. "Hey, I'm talking to you." BoKuroo tugged QueenOfSeptember's chin to stare at him. It took a struggle for BoKuroo to see QueenOfSeptember's face and finally their eyes met. "QueenOfSeptember, I like you. I really do," said BoKuroo. "Don't joke and tease me," snorted QueenOfSeptember. BoKuroo pulled his hand that was still holding QueenOfSeptember's chin to bring their lips together. Just a light kiss and it made QueenOfSeptember realize. "Still say I'm kidding? Is it a joke that you dare to kiss?" QueenOfSeptember was silent, processing what happened. BoKuroo kissed him? BoKuroo Kautaro, who has been crushed by him since the last 3 years? Was he dreaming because he was tired of crying and overslept? The rub on QueenOfSeptember's cheek brought QueenOfSeptember back to reality. BoKuroo is still there at the same place, which means this is not a dream. "QueenOfSeptember, I like you, even from the first time I saw you." Love at first sight? Maybe. "I told you that I will only date people I fall in love with. And that's you. Why do you think I often ask you to train with me even though I have my own team that I want to ask to train with me? Why do I often ask you to hang out even though we are different schools? Why do I always stare at you even though you're from the opposing team? The answer is because I like you. I fell in love with you." QueenOfSeptember was still surprised by BoKuroo's explanation. Sighs and BoKuroo continues his words, "I know you like me too." And those words made QueenOfSeptember slapped. How can? "Of course, I am not an insensitive man like you. I can see your gesture with me. I'm glad at least my feelings are not unrequited, but why can you be so insensitive to me? I thought that by giving me some clue you would understand and we could confess each other, but you're not that sensitive." "But why me? I'm not beautiful at all, I'm taller than you, even I'm not attractive at all," QueenOfSeptember said. "Hey, why you didn't know how beautiful you are? And why are you taller than me? It doesn't matter. Besides, your height is not far from me. And who said you weren't attractive? If you weren't attractive, I wouldn't have fallen in love with a volleyball junior from Nakoma High School when I first met him at the Nakoma gym. Is this what makes you insensitive to me? Your insecurity?" asked BoKuroo and QueenOfSeptember nodded. "Hahaha, then just forget about your insecurity cause I'm here. I accept you whatever and however you are," said BoKuroo. BoKuroo's words just made QueenOfSeptember cry again. He didn't expect someone like BoKuroo to accept him as he is. "Hey, why are you crying again? You haven't answered me. So, will you be my boyfriend?" asked BoKuroo. QueenOfSeptember rubbed his face roughly and looked at BoKuroo, who was waiting for his answer with a face as if he was worried about the answer even though he was sure that BoKuroo already knew the answer. "Yes, I will," QueenOfSeptember replied. BoKuroo wiped the remaining tears on QueenOfSeptember's face. "Stop crying. I confess to you, why are you still crying?" "I'm afraid that the confess isn't to me," QueenOfSeptember replied. "Hahaha, sorry if that made you sad. But thank you for accepting me." QueenOfSeptember shook his head. "No thanks for liking me. You deserve to be liked, don't be like that," replied BoKuroo as he stretched out his hand, as if asking QueenOfSeptember to come to him. Although embarrassed, QueenOfSeptember still lunged into BoKuroo's arms. "Don't be insecure, someone will love you no matter what you are." BoKuroo Kautaro. Warning: this fanfiction does not belong to me, neither does the fan art. Credits to the original artist and author to the fan art and the fanfiction. Haikyuu does not belong to me either. Well, by children smiling face with hearts.